Hey Gamers, eu Planeta, que é o Gerdrax Games, com mais um jogo, e dessa vez com The Book of Unrwitten Tales 2, ou traduzindo diretamente para o português, Os Contos de um Livro Não Contado 2. Nunca joguei esse jogo, eu vi que estava de graça com o Gold, então vamos ver. New Game. Ok, loading.
War raged through all Avantasia. The alliance of humans, elves, and dwarves fought against the evil army of the shadows.
Entendi porra nenhuma, só entendi a parte do humano, serem do mal.
No one gained the advantage. So it was that in that time of deepest despair, that an old archaeologist uncovered the location.
Quem vê no YouTube depois vai estar com legenda traduzida.
The artifact could fulfill every wish, and thus decide the war, for one side or the other. Led by warlock Munkus, son of Archwitch Mortroga, the shadows hunted for the artifact. And they would have reached it first, were it not for a group of heroes who stood against them.
Dia eu faço curso de inglês. Dia, mas não hoje.
First of his clan to become a mage. Ivo, the courageous elven princess from the woodland realm. And the Critter, a hairy creature from the Northlands, companion of the most brilliant of the heroes.
Olha, a parte de Heroes ali, hein? Heroes todo mundo sabe o que é.
Supposed to spend the rest of his life at the side of an elven princess, who deserved the kingdom and all the riches in the world, who should stop wasting time talking about himself in the third person. Ah!
Começamos se fudendo. Ok. Ah tá, é cutscene.
Good. This is good.
Essa parte eu não
Although the
entendi.
ground is still getting closer.
Ah, não entendi nada. Ok, tá na cara que isso não ia dar certo. Ou talvez desse, né? Quem imaginaria?
Part of the jetty. At least some of it survived the explosion.
O cara está sobrevivendo a uma explosão. Isso é interessante. Agora do que é a explosão? Ele estava ali enquanto estava caindo. Me pergunto quão alto
If I'm lucky, this will go all the way up to the island. But somehow I really doubt it will.
Não faz sentido. Os homens no raio de uns 720 metros sentiram a dor. É, talvez seja Aladdin mesmo.
Oh, hi Nate, how's it going?
Good. For now. Could it be that your spell didn't quite work out the way you planned?
I did tell you there were certain risks involved.
Pois bem, né? Aí me fode. Ajuda. Rápido alguma coisa. Oh, uau. Alguma coisa grande. Eu vou colocar nisso ao well.
So, now that we have a little time to kill, why don't you tell me a little something about yourself?
Oh, right. Well, yes, I came into this world in an oasis in the Desert, and at that time, I was...
Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Definitely not the time to reminisce.
Then why did you ask?
I could use some help here, Benny.
Well, you did see what happened last time I cast a spell.
Time to make up for it, then. Now shake a leg.
Oh, I don't know. I might just end up making everything worse.
Worse? Stop mind reverse gravity. Reverter a gravidade. Não é fácil.
Excuse me, I'm sorry for the disturbance. Don't know what came over me.
Oh, really?
No, Benny, not really. Not even close.
Ah, humor. Funny.
Não sei porque esse dia me lembra muito aquele Esqueci o nome. Quando eu lembrar eu falo. Tá bom.
Can't you just stop time? Or wings? Give me wings! How
Não
about
é o
that?
Smeagol, aquele
Oh, this is all terribly
duende do Harry Potter, esqueci o
complicated.
nome dele.
I really don't feel up to it today, Nate.
Benny!
Perhaps tomorrow? I really do need to think through what's happened today properly.
You get me out of the mess you got us into right now!
Please don't yell at me. I just can't take it anymore.
Benny! Ah! The state he's in, we can forget about miracles. I gotta find something easy, something even he thinks he can do.
Com sucesso. Por conta de um diálogo maldito. Perfeito. No. Um tapete. Talvez não tão mais.
A flying carpet, is that too much to ask?
I'm not talking to you.
Why you? I'm sorry I criticized your work, Benny.
And?
And that I shook your lamp. And everything else. You meant well.
Well, all right then. I forgive you. What can I do for you?
Carpet!
A flying carpet. Shouldn't be too hard. Should I really dare?
Desse gênio
Am
parece uma
I
mulher.
really up to it?
Que ferramenta.
Yes!
Ok, a gente subiu.
What the heck? What happened here? No!
Ai. É igualzinho o bichinho da Vila César. Fora o loading, né? Não. Semana que vem tem um The Scorpion, o loading vai durar
Oh,
muito.
Mother.
Eu acho.
What's wrong with you? Everything's fine.
Everything fine. É fine. Everything fine. And the forward.
No,
Tá bom.
you don't look well at all. Positively.
Já posso ver que os nossos
rotund.
personagens são rotativos.
It is unseemly for an elf princess to cope with her frustrations by comfort eating. If you carry on like this, you
Tipo o
won't
discursinho
fit
que ela é
your
uma
wedding
princesa e tem que
dress.
se comportar como tal.
I don't have any intentions of marrying anytime soon.
Oh, darling, we've been through that already.
Darling.
Prince Lalilos is going to be arriving next week. You will like him. He's charming and
Ó,
look,
tem o
he
quadro
sent us a
do
picture of himself and his sister.
possível protagonista ali embaixo.
Which of the two is the sister?
Witch?
The
Uma
elf
princesa?
nobility,
Não, princesa
unfortunately,
não,
has not
uma...
got any unshaven
Ah,
Neanderthals
bruxa.
to offer. You'll just have to get used to that.
A mãe dela é uma bruxa.
I don't have the slightest interest in that person. Not anymore.
You are at the heart of the Elf Kingdom, in the castle of your family where you belong. No one here should be sad, tired, or fat. I only want what's best for you, Ivo.
Aí vamos. Tá bom, vamos embora. Vale mais nada, vai embora. Vai embora que eu quero jogar. Tá porra, uma prisão mesmo. Ok, chegamos a Rapunzel. Ela me trancou. Have you? A atual princesa é lá. Eu realmente não alguma coisa.
Have you seen this prince? A vain river elf who's only interested in topping up his tan.
E o passarinho escutando como se tivesse. E eu com isso.
I'm to spend hundreds of years in the company of someone I don't love? Huh, not me.
Quem diz que é problema meu?
And how? She will try anything and everything. Nothing's
sou o
more
passarinho.
important to her than getting me married off.
Essa guria tá louca, meu, conversando com um pássaro. Um pica-pau. Tá bom, vamos ver.
I didn't want to tell Mother, but I've not been feeling too well lately, Cheap.
Aham,
I'd say the same thing, but we elves hardly ever get ill.
entendo.
Yeah, you've got a point there. I spent almost a year in the human world, and they have some very strange ideas about personal hygiene.
Ok, né?
Well, I thought perhaps it's a curse.
Qual que é a pira ela falar com o bicho, meu?
Oh, no, you won't. I'll take care of it myself.
Pelo
Mother
amor
would
de
make
Deus.
a state occasion out of it.
É pirada.
I don't know either, but I'm sure there's a medical book down in the library.
E o passarinho só cantando.
No, rest is not what I need just now.
Livraria.
I'll go down to the library and look up what's wrong with me, completely alone, just like a grown-up elf. I'm not going to be...
Tchau, tchau. Bosta. Deixa eu ir embora. Vamos ver o que temos aqui. Uma rosa.
A beautiful red flower.
Puta que pariu, ela tá
It was
falando
only
com plantas
put here a
também.
few days ago.
É louco.
Sometimes Mother orders a new plant that looks nice in my room. And then it's replaced and planted in the garden.
Ok, ela fala com planta. Vamos ver. Vamos ver essa estátua.
A guard with a spear and shield, and like all
Ai,
elven
que-
figures, immaculate.
Interessante. Tem uma bola aqui. Eu quero ver a bola. Ô, porra. Deixa eu ver essa bola de Natal gigante.
An envoy from the Far East gave me this musical box years ago.
Uma
Wherever I
caixa
go, I
musical.
always have its tune in my head.
Legal. Vai, toca. Tem água. Legal, dá pra ver a figura. Legal, o passarinho se olhando no espelho. Ele é narcisista.
I've been sleeping badly of late, and sometimes I feel tired all day long.
Tá
I've
bom,
never been ill,
Tá bom,
but something isn't right. I hope I'll find the answer in the library.
tá bom. Vamos ver.
Mother's locked me in, as if I was
Minha mãe
200
trocou
again.
aqui. 200
Since I
anos.
secretly escaped from the elf burrow last year, she's taken to guarding me closer than ever before.
Interessante. Vamos falar com o pássaro.
Cheap Cheap likes to look at his reflection.
Tipo.
He strikes a pose and then tries to
Ah,
impress
reflection.
himself with it, and succeeds most of the time.
Ah, só tá bicando o espelho, meu. Tá refletindo nada, não. Tá bom, pega ele então. Quero ver.
Hey, Cheap Cheap, I need the mirror.
Eu acho que ela
I only
realmente
need
fala
it
com
for
o
a
bicho.
minute. Oh, he's not budging, and his
É que eu
pet's
queria
gonna be damn
gordinho, a
painful
asinha
when
dele
he
é
puts his
pequena. Não sei
mind
como ele
to it.
consegue voar. Ah, tá bom. Vamos ver o quadro.
The times when the others were here in the elf burrow, those were the best that I've ever had.
Blá,
The
blá,
critter
blá,
could
blá.
never keep still when I was drawing him. He was always pulling faces and trying to make me laugh.
Aham.
Wilbur was so excited. He loves elves and
Wilbur.
our stories. He spent hours sitting with my father and listening to him talk about bygone ages.
Pai dele.
Complete idiot.
Completo idiota. Isso eu entendo. Eu quero ver o que tem no baú. O que tem naquele baú? Oh, não, para cá. Isso. Não. 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 Opa. Não.
My jewellery box serves as a podium for the vertically challenged narcissist.
Narcisista.
Could you
Levanta aí,
please
ó.
move aside? I want to get into my jewellery box.
Só abre a caixa e ele sai.
He He doesn't listen to me anymore since I almost caused him to be roasted by fireballs, decapitated by swords, and eaten by monsters. Mother has permitted him to disregard any of my orders that go against her wishes. His interpretation of this can be liberal.
Tá bom, vamos ver o que tem lá fora. Eita. Aqui, cara. Então tá, a gente vai fugir
It may
por
not be
aqui.
befitting of a princess,
Oh, no.
but this isn't the first time that I've climbed into the garden via the balcony, and it won't be the last.
Ih, sai aqui, demônio.
I'm just doing my morning exercises. I
Cala a
wasn't going
boca.
to.
Ai, que...
Of course, I could just ignore him and climb down into the garden anyway. He would, however, make a beeline to Mother and tell on me, and who knows what the two of them would cook up for me next.
A gente tem que dar cabo do pássaro pra conseguir fugir, então. Telescópio.
I used to look into the woods for days on end, imagining what the world beyond would be like. Now I
Não
know.
precisa só imaginar, filha.
I
Sai
think I
logo
miss
daí,
it.
caralho.
I've seen much suffering, much evil and unkindness in the world out there. But it was exciting. It was alive. Here in the Elf Burrow, everything is so ordered, so perfect, so dull. One day's just like the next, and they just pass by endlessly.
Aham.
We have many exotic plants here in the palace, but sunflowers are my favorite. Apologies, I need a few of your seeds.
Tá bom, pegamos sementes. Vamos ver o que mais que dá pra fazer aqui.
It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the first time that I've climbed into the garden via the balcony, and it won't be the last.
Ok. Legal que o mapa quase inteiro que é interativo.
One can almost see the edge of the wood through the telescope, but I just can't leave the Elf Burrow. Mother would never forgive me, and there are so many dangers lurking out there.
Ok. Vamos ver por onde que aparece essa porta. Ah, tá. Vamos embora.
Okay, he's not looking this way.
É, fala em voz alta. Fala em pensamento, filho.
Oh, there is more than one kind of stretch
Ô,
exercise, you
bichinho
know.
chato.
Perhaps you'd like to train with me.
Temos que dar cabo desse bicho, cara.
No chance. I can't sneak down as long as Cheep Cheep's on guard.
Cara, deve ter algum lugar pra colocar essa bosta. Ah, sabia. Filha da puta.
Cheep Cheep, would it be possible for you to stop
Eu não
admiring
acredito.
yourself for 2 seconds and move over to stuffing your beak
Todos têm
instead?
pressa. Aleluia. Pássaro do capim. Tomara que
Don't say I
exploda.
never look
É,
after
pode
you.
arroz. Tá, vamos lá. Vamos ver o que tem dentro dessa caixa. É bom ter alguma coisa que vale a pena. Vai, abre.
Pearls, precious stones, sparkling earrings and necklaces. All the stuff I have to wear at official functions. If it were up to Mother, I would have trunkfuls of this stuff, and a wing of the castle
Não
would be
parece
my
muita coisa
wardrobe.
importante não, cara.
She just can't understand why Pa and I aren't into this sort of thing.
Se engasga de comer pássaro do caramba. Peguei raiva. Idiota. Idiota. Trouxa. Trouxa. Seu trouxão. Se foda. No teu espelho, seu bosta. Seu muito merda.
Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother seized the opportunity to marry me off to a proper elf prince. So far, I've managed to frighten off every candidate successfully. But she's starting to lose her patience.
Ok. Vamos ver se dá pra pular agora. Esse pássaro. Ah, meu Deus, eu vou me matar. Esse jogo tem que pensar, senão você consegue. Descobrir o que é. Puta que... Vem, bicho do capeta. Vem ver. Vem se olhar no espelho aqui.
Hey, withdrawal symptoms?
Pois é. Pelo visto eu vou ter que usar toda a minha inteligência pra ver essa bosta. Vai, vamos lá com você.
A contented fat blue bird and his reflection. I just need the music box a minute. You don't need to turn your head away from your beautiful reflection for 1 second. Come on.
Consegui! Filha da puta! Matei o bicho! Matei o bicho sufocado, mas matei. Que apodreça aí dentro.
We can now enjoy a few moments of peace.
Até a musiquinha tocou de aleluia. Tá, vamos ver se tem alguma coisa pra pegar nessa merda aqui embora.
Pearl, goodness no.
Então vai se fuder. Vamos embora. O pássaro que morra. Tomara que ele asse ali dentro. Devia ter colocado o espelho pra cozinhar ele lá. Refletir a luz só e cozinhar ele dentro de uma canja.
Let's go.
Let's go. Isso mesmo, isso que eu queria ouvir. Let's go. Aleluia.
As expected, no one here. My parents are in the throne room ruling the lands. Or rather, Mother is.
Ok. Vamos ver.
A fairly small, unattractive
Eita
tree.
porra.
Huh.
Árvore tem rosto.
I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
Hello.
You mean...
Anyway, what could I do for you, my little beauty?
Mother put me on a diet this morning so that I'll
Okay.
look perfect for my wedding.
Oh, everything has to be perfect for her. No such thing in nature, of course. Or rather, everything is perfect if you just let nature run its course.
Entendi nada.
You tell that to Mother.
I have, many times. She'd be very clever in some things, but very daft concerning that.
Parece
Now
legal
then,
essa
she is the
árvorezinha.
queen.
I'm old enough to be able to call a spade a spade.
Interessante.
Spade, gardener. Get it?
You and Father, you get along well, don't you?
Ah, no one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
Que
Ah,
horrorista.
the mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life. And he's missing out on the lot by just sitting around up there and doing nubbit.
Teorista não teoria.
The garden
Okay.
always looks fantastic, Arbor.
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, my dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands
A
properly. in the
bunda
evenings.
dele engraçado pra caramba, um pedaço de terra.
What are you up to today, then? Got much on?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the elf burrow, but the flowers need their water, so I water them every day.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years, and for 30 years we've had autumn.
Time passes differently in the elf burrow.
Muito tempo.
Slower.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously. But if we had a bit of normal weather and the usual
Só pra constar
seasons,
que eu também nunca joguei
there'd be a lot more
um desse jogo.
variety here.
Tô indo direto pro 2.
Nowhere are the trees so green and healthy as here in the elf world.
Ciao.
You tree shepherds do a great job.
Tree shepherds? The trees just stand
Shepherds.
there. What do they need a shepherd? However, I quite fancy one of those shepherd dogs. Hey, Rex, do you want to be my shepherd dog? Nah, my darling. I'm a gardener. Nothing more, nothing less.
Ele conversou com
I
uma
have to get
pedra,
on.
velho. Ele é mais louco que a guria.
Yep, got a bit to do myself. I just don't know what's wrong with that plant over there.
Vai, me guia. Perde tempo não, vai atrás dele.
Your mother got a whole heap of flowers given to her the other day from a fairy delegation. All of them took good and strong, just not that one.
Perhaps it needs a special type of soil or something.
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something soon, I'll have to ask your father. He can have a little chat with her and she might tell him what's up.
If you're going in, it'd be nice if you didn't tell my mother that you saw me out here.
Oh, you playing hooky again? My lips are sealed.
Arbor's obviously concerned about his flower.
Não, velho, então começou outro puzzle.
A lovely spot, so long as the bees who have built their hive direct. I don't have any time to rest, and that's good. At last, I've got something to do again. Mother thought it was unseemly of the bees to build their hive in our garden. I don't think she could get used to the thought that she would no longer be the only queen here.
Ok, temos uma planta aqui também.
It doesn't look very well at all. It's unusual for flowers to hang their heads in this garden. Normally they blossom in our good earth, not to mention the power of Arbor's green fingers.
Ok, vamos ver o que mais temos aqui.
This is Mother's mirror. It's said that you can see into the furthest corners of the land and know what's happening in every part of the world. At the moment, it's no more than a shallow bowl. The water's missing.
Ok, vamos ver o que mais tem. Nossa!
I don't know the names of all the plants in the garden.
Eu acho que vai dar...
Grandmother knows them all.
o jardim
Which is probably
inteiro.
down to the fact that it was her that gave many of the plants their names a few thousand years ago. Shite beerwood, sweat tea, dodder flower, fat hen, bistort, stink root. We no longer invite her to family gatherings.
Exibida. O que mais temos para cá? Meu Deus, será que temos coisas para o meu carácter? Vamos aqui.
There are elf-made ponds and streams all over the palace ground. Their water's said to have healing powers. No wonder considering where it comes from.
Pois é, a gente vai ter que arrumar um pote para pegar água daqui e trazer aqui.
That's a weeping willow. It appears to be so content it looks anything but sad.
Dá pra gente subir de volta se a gente quiser também. Não, demorei tanto pra sair.
A handy...
Eu vou querer subir. Tem alguma coisa pra pegar ali, hein? Uma pedra.
Arbor's pot, literally.
Ok.
There's only a little water left in the bird bath. Cheep Cheep always says that it evaporates quickly. I, however, think that the constant need...
Ok, vamos ver o que temos aqui. Uma livraria. Eita.
Swords of all the idiots who have
Eu
tried to
estou vendo uma
conquer the elf
espada.
burrow.
Uma espada familiar.
It's become less frequent over the last few
Não fala essa
centuries.
grandona, não.
Humans and dwarves
Vou
appear
estar pra
to have
tirar esse
learnt their
troço.
lesson. It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build himself a throne out of all the swords of conquered enemies. Unfortunately, he died after only conquering one
Caralho, tem o
enemy
Sullivan
when he
ali na
refused to
parede,
heed
meu.
all the warnings and
Um
sat
pouco
on
mais
the
chifrudo,
throne.
mas é o Sullivan. Isso, gira. Gira, gira, gira. Gira, gira, gira. Não tem como nem negar essa referência.
It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build himself a throne out of all the swords of conquered enemies. Unfortunately, he died after only conquering one enemy when he refused to heed all the warnings and sat on the throne.
Esse cubo aqui mais estranho.
There's a selection of cubes here. For a while, it was all the rage at official state visits to give geometric presents.
Da onde que é? Não sei. Isso aqui. Será? Tem isso aqui também.
A present from one of the northern kingdoms. Strange. I think it's some kind. The biggest plant book of Avantasia by Charles Mendel with illustrations by Alexander von Pland. A standard reference book that Arber always used to consult every now and then. However, he insists that he now knows it off by. Goldsmithing, masonry, and a book about carpentry. Like all books in this library, it's a guest present. The logic behind this must be, those elves, they have so many beautiful statues and items of wood. They'll be really interested in this. Why don't we present them with a book about it? What they don't realise, though, is that if we're interested in a subject, then we'll already know pretty much all there is to know about the matter, and the book's of no use to us whatsoever. Working with wood. There's a master whittler down in the valley. I've enjoyed watching him in the past. He carves animal figures so real that humans and dwarfs believe that they are actually animals. This one, plane the wood down.
No.
Who knows what that might be good for? Several. And what's this? Fishing for the.
Vamos ver o que está pegando esse cubo também.
Helmets with horns.
Olha pro cubo.
Perhaps I can help Arber solve the problem with that flag.
Olha pro cubo.
Rapaziada, aqui é o Gedrax Games. Só pra dar um recadinho rápido, ficou muito longo esse vídeo, então eu vou repartir em duas partes. A segunda parte vai ser um pouco maior. Mas mesmo assim, não deixe de se inscrever e agora seguir o nosso Instagram e a nossa página no Facebook sobre o canal. É isso, valeu e falou! Ah, antes que eu esqueça, o vídeo ainda sai hoje.